So hello everybody, and a very warm welcome to the 6th Annual Asia Pacific Spectrum Management Conference. My name is Dan Kraft, and on behalf of everybody at Forum Global, I would like to say how great it is to have you all with us today. Our plan initially for this conference was to hold it in person in Jakarta, but for obvious reasons, we've taken the decision to instead switch the event to a virtual format. And like most of our conferences at the moment, the conference will be taking place entirely online. So for those of you who've participated at one of our online conferences before, you'll know that we've built this platform to not only allow for the various panels and presentations to take place, but also to try and replicate some of the benefits that you get at a face-to-face event in terms of the networking, the interaction, various side meetings, and also an exhibition area. We're going to be showing a video very shortly to provide you with more information about this and how to make your time with us, how to make the most, of your time with us at the conference. And we do please invite you all to take advantage of the various opportunities to get involved as much as possible in all the different sessions that are going to be taking place. Very shortly, it's going to be my great honor to officially open the conference and to get things going with our opening ceremony. But before we do that, I just wanted to mention a couple of things. First of all, I wanted to say a big thank you to all of our sponsors and partners for their support of this event. You'll see the logos of all our various partners on the screen next to me. Without the support of all of these organizations, this event really would not be possible, and we really, really do appreciate their involvement. So thank you very much to all of you. I also wanted to mention the event hashtag that we have running, as well as being broadcast here on the event platform. The conference is being streamed live via Twitter on our Global Spectrum Series account. So hello to everyone out there who might be watching via Twitter. And for all of you out there who are joining us in that way, and for anybody else who'd like to tweet or post messages about the event on social media, please do, and please use the hashtag you can see at the top of the screen, #AsiaSpectrum. Finally, a quick word about the presentations that are going to be made. So we're going to be uploading copies of all of the presentations that are made throughout the duration of the event to enable you to download those. You will find a link to those, which will be available in the reception area on the platform. And it will also have been emailed to you by my colleagues yesterday, and I think we'll be emailing them again during the week. So you can download all of the presentations and view those afterwards as well. Now on to the program for today. So as you can see from the slide here next to me, today's proceedings are split into 6 separate sessions. So very shortly, we're going to be starting with the opening ceremony, which will be taking place here, obviously on the main stage. Following that, we have the session, which is going to be hopefully introducing you to a bit of the platform, and we're also having an opening networking session, so give you the chance maybe to network and meet with some of your attendees, before we then start with the first of our 3 main sessions that we have taking place today. So you'll see we have the 3 sessions taking place. Session 1, which is going to be looking at 5G visions and early experiences across the APAC region. Session 2, looking at the response to the current COVID-19 crisis and how Spectrum has been managed in order to keep people online and make the most of that. And we also have taking place at 7:30 Indonesia time, the first of our after-hours sessions, which is going to be looking at the digital divide and looking at kind of working together to connect the hardest to reach areas. The full schedule for today is available in the reception area and also via the small calendar icon that you'll see at the top of your screen. So if you click on that, then you can look at any time at the session and see what's going on. The other session that we have, you'll notice today, is the showcase session. So to give you a little bit more detail on the showcase sessions and how these are going to work, we're going to be having these running throughout the event. We have one set of showcases running on each day. Each showcase is going to last about 45 minutes and is hosted by one of our event partners. And the sessions will take a variety of different formats. We have demonstrations taking place, we have panel discussions, presentations, interviews, and a lot more than that. So the idea for these is they'll provide an opportunity to delve down into some of the issues that we're being covered in the plenary sessions in a little bit more detail. So you can see again on the screen beside me here the 3 showcases we have to kick things off today. These sessions do run in parallel, so they are taking place at the same time, but don't worry, they are all also being recorded like every other session that's taking place today and for the duration of the event is as well. And you will receive the links afterwards so you can catch up on anything that you might have missed during the program. So we have a lot going on, and this is just day one. So we're looking forward to what I'm sure are going to be 4 very packed and very interesting days. So really looking forward to that. So without further ado, I would now like to open the conference and welcome to the stage our distinguished speakers for the opening ceremony. So I'd like to please welcome Arawan Haurangsi, who's Secretary General of the Asia Pacific Telecommunity, Mario Manovitz, Director of the Radio Communications Bureau at the ITU, and Dr. Ismail, who is Director of Resource Management and Equipment of Posts and Informatics at the Ministry of Communication and Informatics in Indonesia. So welcome to you all. We're honored to have you all with us here for this opening ceremony, and we're really looking forward to hearing from you all very shortly. So first of all, I would like to introduce Arawan Haurangsi, Secretary General of the APT. Arawan, once again, we're really grateful to you and to all of your team at APT for your continued support of the event and for everything that you do to help us to make the event possible. So thank you very much again for everything with that. And a personal thank you as well to yourself, because I know how busy you are at the moment, for taking the time to join us here today. So I'd now like to give you the floor, and I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts on the issue. So Arawan, over to you.
Thank you very much, Dan. And Dr. Ismail, Director General, Resources Management and Equipment of Posts and Informatics, Ministry of Communication of Informatics, Indonesia. Mr. Mario Manovitz, Director, Radio Communication Bureau, International Telecommunication Union, ITU. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, and good morning and good evening to all of you around the world. It is my great pleasure to say a few words on behalf of the Asia Pacific Telecommunity, APT, at the opening of this 6th Asia Pacific Spectrum Management Conference. It has always been a good opportunity for APT to jointly support the conference. Last year, the conference was successfully held in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, with a good number of participants. This year, the conference is organized virtually due to the COVID-19 pandemic. I have learned that there are quite a number of registered participants. I should say that this is one of the advantages of the virtual event. I would like to express my sincere appreciation to Forum Global for organizing this event regularly over the year for the excellent arrangement of this virtual event. Ladies and gentlemen, I could say that people are now relying more than ever on telecommunication and ICT services. The COVID-19 pandemic has created many complications and challenges for maintaining normal telecommunication and ICT services, including the extreme demand of services from household requirements of health services and hospital under stress, new and unusual patterns of demand, and the operation under lockdown and associated barriers. Efforts have been made to ensure social distancing and slow the spread of the coronavirus. Telecom ICT regulators are facing immense challenges to keep the telecommunication ICT infrastructure active. No doubt that huge portion of internet use in Asia Pacific relies on mobile network due to lack of internet service via fixed network. As a result, spectrum has emerged as a key and vital resources to keep the mobile network active. It is noticed that operators in many countries have reported the lack of sufficient amount of spectrum to keep the services at the desired level during this crisis moment. This is a good wake-up call for the policymakers and regulators in the region. This conference has been organized in an appropriate time to address the issue of spectrum management during regional and global crises like COVID-19. Last year, WRC in Egypt was concluded with many important outcomes. A number of new frequencies have been allocated for different services, including the identification of a number of new frequency bands for IMT 2020 5G. This year is supposed to be a year of massive rollout of 5G network globally. However, due to the COVID-19, the rollout has not been reaching the target. This conference has brought many ICT policymakers, regulators, and industry to discuss on the important aspects of spectrum management. It has given a platform for all stakeholders to discuss and learn from each other. Some of the experience sharing presentations will offer us insightful knowledge on the ground realities of differences in the Asia-Pacific countries. I would like to take this opportunity to mention that APT is providing support to the member in many aspects of spectrum management. APT focus to improve the practice in managing scarce resources like spectrum for delivering connectivity. APT work program like the APT Conference Preparatory Group for the WRC or APG and APT Wireless Group AWG have been continuing their efforts to fulfill this objective for APT members. For this year, due to the ongoing COVID-19 situation, virtual meetings will be held for the 26th meeting of APT Wireless Group from 14 to 18 September, and for the first meeting of the APT Conference Preparatory Group for the WRC 23 or APG 23-1, it will be held from 24th to 25th September. So I expect your participation in these two events as well. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, to conclude, I would like to once again express my sincere thanks and appreciation to the Indonesian government, ITU Forum Global, and all other partners for organizing this 6th Asia Pacific Spectrum Management Conference, and to all participants from Asia Pacific and other regions for your presence today. I hope deliberations during the next 4 days will be fruitful, and I wish you all a successful event. Thank you very much.
Arawan, thank you very much. Thank you very much for those words, and I think that's an excellent way to kick off the conference, and really do appreciate, as I said, you being with us here today, and also more broadly APT supported events. So thank you very much. So next up we have our second speaker. So I would now like to welcome to the stage Mario Manovitz from ITU. Hello there, Mario. At all of our regional events that we organize as part of the Global Spectrum Series, we work very closely in partnership with ITU, and this event has been no different. So we're extremely grateful, Mario, to your team at ITU, both your team in the Radio Communications Bureau and also the regional team in the Asia Pacific region, which is, of course, now led by the new head of region, Atsuko Okoda. And on behalf of everyone at Forum Global, I'd like to congratulate her on the new position and welcome her to the new position in the region. But Mario, it's our honor to have you with us here today to represent ITU. And I'd now like to invite you to say a few words and to give your thoughts on the key issues. So Mario, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dan. And good day to everybody. So Dr. Ismail, Director General of Resources Management and Equipment of Posts and Informatics in the Ministry of Communications and Informatics of Indonesia, Mrs. Ariwan Orangsi, Secretary General of the APT, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you. It is a pleasure to be opening the 6th Asia Pacific Spectrum Management Conference today as we move into a new cycle of the ITU radio communication sector activities. This event will provide a strategic assessment of where the region stands and where it wants to go in terms of spectrum management and spectrum policies in the coming years. As you know, at the end of 2019, the last World Radio Communication Conference brought together over 3,400 participants, representing 163 member states and 129 observer organizations. The decisions taken at WRC 19 will allow for new technologies and services to be deployed around the world while protecting the existing services. One of the main outcomes of the conference was the identification of additional frequencies for IMT, or 5G, as it is popularly known, in the millimeter wave bands. And it is no surprise that APT was a protagonist in achieving these results. Over 120 operators around the world, many of which come from the Asia-Pacific region, have deployed 5G networks. Korea, China, and Thailand will share with us how they are leading the way in the rollout of 5G networks. However, as you know, the region has also a large sub-region composed by small and scattered islands, where the deployment of 5G in millimeter band was not or may not be a priority. These nations consist of hundreds of islands spread across an area equivalent to 15% of the Earth's surface. Due to their geographical circumstances, they currently rely heavily on satellite connectivity, particularly in the C-band, as well as on connectivity via submarine cables. And they struggle to connect their smaller islands to and via the major island due to network deployment costs and the lack of viable business cases. Taking these issues into account, WRC 19 defined a framework for regulating large constellation of non-geostationary orbit satellites and identified additional bands for high-altitude platforms that promise to extend internet coverage to the most remote areas of the globe, taking connectivity to the unconnected. Moreover, WRC 19 has modified the conditions applied to our lands in the 5 GHz band that should enable even greater utilization of the technology. Looking ahead to the WRC 23, there are several agenda items of interest to the region, from the modernization of global maritime and distress and safety systems, GMDSS, and the implementation of e-navigation, to the use of high-altitude platform stations and IMT base stations, IBS, and from the possible identification of additional mid-range frequency bands for IMT, or the revision of the country footnote in the 4.9 GHz band, to addressing the spectrum needs of suborbital vehicles. We will be hearing your respective perspectives on some of these topics on the days ahead. If we now move from the global arena to look more closely into the regional situation, we can observe that the Asia-Pacific region is a quite heterogeneous one, as we mentioned. Indeed, according to the ITU report Facts and Figures, in the Asia-Pacific region, less than half of the population, to be more precise, 48.4%, is connected to the internet. This is an average that includes countries with the highest proportion of people using the internet worldwide, as well as countries that, along with Africa, have the lowest proportions of connected people. The statistics show that further work is required to ensure that no country and no one is left behind. To leverage the benefits of global and regional harmonization, national administrations need to incorporate the international regulations to their national framework and utilize frequency bands allocated to the services that will best serve the interest of their population. This includes, of course, assessing domestic requirements and utilizing spectrum allocated and with respect to IMT identified in previous conferences. National authorities need also to decide on the best means for frequency assignment and licensing, including making non-license allocations. Each decision has a fundamental impact on provision and adoption of telecommunication services. We currently stand at a crossroads between an old reality and a new one that can be more inclusive and more sustainable. The use of technology and connectivity can surely help build this new reality. By providing broadband connectivity to all people, we can extend the benefits of advanced user applications such as e-education and e-health services to those living in remote areas. And by interconnecting things, we may make it possible to build greener and more intelligent cities and to improve the efficiency of industrial facilities. I invite you to engage in the long-term cooperation among national administrations, regional and international organizations. It will help overcome the challenges of the times and leverage the opportunities that arise from the diversity and richness of the Asia-Pacific region. I wish you a successful meeting, and I thank you very much for your attention.
Mario, thank you very much. And yeah, again, we're really grateful for you for taking the time to join us today. I know that you have a very busy schedule as well. You were saying that I think you're going to open the meeting for the ATU in the Africa region later on today, but thank you very much, and I think you're back with us tomorrow. I think I'm right in saying for the,
yes,
for the session.
okay.
So thank you, really do appreciate that. So next, I would like to introduce our third speaker for the opening ceremony. Now, as I mentioned at the start of the event, our plan this year was to hold this conference in Jakarta, in Indonesia, and to have been working with the Ministry of Communication and Informatics Indonesia as our event host. Now we're very delighted, we're delighted and very grateful to the ministry that they have continued to support the event in this new virtual format. And I would now like to welcome Dr. Ismail, Director of Resource Management and Equipment of Post and Informatics, to come and say a few words. So Dr. Ismail, we are hugely grateful to you and to all of the team for your support of the conference this year. We really hope next year that the global situation has improved and that we're able to bring the conference to Indonesia, even if it is possibly a year later than we had initially planned. But for now, I'm really looking forward to hearing your thoughts on the key issues. So over to you, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Dan. Yes, we're waiting you coming to Indonesia. Mr. Mario Manuich, Director of Radio Communication Bureau ITU, Madam Arwan Harwansi, Secretary General of APT, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Firstly, I would like to take this opportunity to deliver our apologies because the Minister of Communication and Informatics, Excellency Johnny G. Pleti, could not present at this moment. I'm really happy to be here, and I would like to congratulate Forum Global for organizing this wonderful conference and giving the opportunity for the participants to gather and discuss about management and coordination of spectrum policy across the region, particularly during the pandemic time and after. COVID-19, as now we have been experiencing for almost 5 months. Next slide, please. This will shape the behavior of our society by making better use of information and communication technology. ITU recently reported that during the pandemic, the social total utility created by ICT, particularly telecommunication services, has increasing significantly. The society perceived more benefit from ICT during the pandemic. This benefit at least has created 5 new behaviors of the society nowadays, such as work from home or teleworking, using digital payment, as well as utilizing the delivery system to get goods or services, telemedicine to access healthcare services from their home. People do not prefer to go to hospital or clinic because it may also risk them getting infected by COVID-19. Distant learning or study from home, and the last, the industry 4.0, impacted by COVID-19. Industry will become more automated and connected to ensure its production processes. Internet of Things, robotics, and even digital twins will be adopted by more enterprises. COVID-19, apart from successfully reforming the behavior of our society, also has accelerated the digitalization process. Indonesia has gone through the digitization step, as we now have many data convert to the digital format. We are now in the process of digitalization, where we use ICT in business processes to benefit from digitized content. The implementation could be in all sectors, including education. With its distance learning and learning management system, it's very important now. Prior to the pandemic, Indonesia will have its natural progress to the blue points in the next few years. Yet, because of the COVID-19, we have to jump to the red points, where it has the same level of impact with the blue points. Thus, the dashed lines that separates the condition between digitalization and digital transformation will also move to the left. The digital transformation is the next step for us, as there will be a business transformation. which is driven by digitized content and also rapid capability change. The example of the process could be the utilization of artificial intelligence to accelerate government licensing process. The use of artificial intelligence for demand forecasting or inventory planning in the supply chains, or even big data for government decision making. To capture the full potential of the digital transformation momentum during the pandemics, some issues also need to be carried out. In Indonesia's case, finishing infrastructure is one of our main focus. With the increased demands as well as of broadband, the availability of reliable infrastructure is a must. Next slide, please. Unlike developed countries where telecommunication could reach 100% coverage, Indonesia is still facing the issue due to the geographic condition, like Mario mentioned before. Indonesia is an archipelagic country with the scattered population throughout the country. This makes huge challenges for stakeholders to cover 100% of populations. Indonesia still has around 12,000 villages or sub-districts uncovered by mobile broadband, especially 4G network. To answer this problem, investment is needed not only in terrestrial or submarine fiber optics, but also in satellites. This investment requires a tremendous amount of funding. The Universal Use Fund itself may insufficient to make no one left behind in digital infrastructure. Government should try to deliver the state budget like what we did to build the road and other basic infrastructures. Another solution could be in the form of the development of technology. With the existing technology, covering all population will be very expensive. A new approach like open radio access network, name it Open RAN, or high throughput satellites HTS could be the alternative to make infrastructure more affordable. Frequency management is also a fundamental matter, which is no less important. The frequency should be allocated for the best value of use for the society, socially and economically. Deep understanding about best practice in the region, the local condition, as well as technological development is essential to manage frequency spectrum in a convenient way. I hope that this conference will deliver a fruitful result to make the better use of ICT infrastructure, particularly frequency spectrum as well as related technology like 5G and high throughput satellites. This result could be harnessed by the government to reflect and consider the solution about how to deliver better ICT services to society in this pandemic time and after in particular. Last but not least, I appreciate Global Forum and partners who involved in arranging this virtual spectrum management conference, where policymakers, operators, vendors, and academic and experts could be together to share best practices, experiences, views, and discuss on how to manage the spectrum during the crisis, 5G development, and how to deliver the mobile broadband service to people around the globe, especially in the Asia Pacific region. Finally, I wish all of the success and fruitfully for the conference. Thank you very much.
Dr. Ismail, thank you very much. And yeah, really do appreciate, as I said, you being with us today and taking the time to join us, and for everything that you and the ministry have done to support the event. So thank you. And as I said, we really are looking forward to hopefully coming to visit you in person and hold the event in person in Jakarta next year. So thank you very much. So that concludes our opening ceremony. And once again, I would like to say a huge thank you to Dr. Ismail and also to Arwan and to Mario for your contributions and for setting the scene for the conference so well. So thank you all very much indeed. So next up, we now move to a session that we are calling Make Your Introduction. So the idea for this session now is to give you all a little bit of more information about the platform and the different interactive areas that we have available. And then to invite you all to try out one of the areas, which is the one-to-one networking area. So very shortly, we are going to have a speed networking session to enable you to try that out and to experience the different networking aspects that we have available. But first of all, I would like to show you a very quick video that we have put together to show you around the platform and to show the different features that we have available. So we will do that now. And welcome to the Asia Pacific Spectrum Management Conference. We're delighted that you're going to join us for the event, and we've just created this short video to show you a little bit about the event platform and hopefully enable you to make the most out of your time with us for the conference. So when you first click on your link to access the event, you'll be brought here to the main reception page. The reception page, think of this as your event homepage. You've got details on things like your sponsors and partners and other information about the event. And crucially, as you'll see at the bottom of the page, you can see the agenda for all 4 days of the conference. The next icon down the left-hand side of your screen on your menu bar is your stages area. So the stages area is where all of the main plenary sessions, the main presentations, and also the showcase sessions that are taking place throughout the course of the week will be happening. So this is an important area, and you'll be using that to access most of the panels and the presentations that are taking place. Next down the list, you have some meeting rooms. So we've opened up some public meeting spaces for you to use. So please do make the most of these. You can click on the different meeting rooms, bring your audio and video live, and then use those to meet and to chat with fellow attendees who are also participating at the event. Next, I wanted to talk a little bit about the networking area of the platform. So there's actually 2 different areas that you can use to network and to meet people in one-to-one video meetings to discuss and things around the edges of the panels and the presentations that are taking place. So the first area is the networking area, again on the menu bar on the left-hand side. So this has been designed to replicate the more spontaneous meetups that you have at a conference. So you can use this area, you click on the ready button, it has just been done then, to meet and to be matched randomly with other attendees who are taking part at the event. So you can see I've been matched here with my colleague. You can then have a brief conversation with that person, and you can decide to click on the connect button at the top to share your contact details and to virtually exchange business cards. So that area is more for the kind of spontaneous meetings that you would have at a conference. The other area which you can also use to arrange one-to-one meetings is a bit more targeted. So you can use the list of attendees button on the right-hand side of your screen to scroll through to see who is attending. You can then send private messages to individuals, and you can click on the button to invite them then to join you for a video call. If you click on that button, again, you would bring your audio video feed live, and that would then enable you to join and to meet with them, and again to have a targeted meeting with those people. So this one is more for people that you possibly know already or want to connect with, or that you're chatting with on the chat and you want to have a more private area to continue those discussions. So you can do that using that area of the platform. Next, I wanted to talk to you about the exhibition area. So we're delighted to have a number of exhibitors of our sponsors and partners who are going to be showcasing various documentation and videos throughout the course of the week. So please do check out the exhibition area. You can click on the video content that's available. There's a lot of links to white papers, information like that. And some of our sponsors will also be going live with chats and discussions on their stands as well. So please do look out for those, and please make the most of the exhibition area. So next, I wanted to talk a little bit more about some of the other interactive areas. So we have on the right-hand side, first of all, a polls area. So we're going to be running a number of polls during the sessions and the panel. So please do take advantage of those. You can find that under the polls tab on the right-hand side. And last but not least, we have a chat function. So in the same way as you probably use at many different webinars, you're able to use the chat function to post your questions to speakers, your comments in general, and again to interact with your fellow attendees. So that's a very quick overview of some of the different areas of the platform. Once again, thank you very much for joining us, and we're really looking forward to some interesting discussions over the course of the next few days. Thank you. So hopefully that was useful in giving you a very quick overview of some of the different areas on the platform. If you wanted to watch that video again, or if you wanted to share with any of your colleagues, a link to that is available on the reception area of the stage. So please do feel free to use that. Or otherwise, if you do have any questions or need any assistance at all during the event, then please, if you go to the list of attendees and you find one of my colleagues there, probably the best person to find is Lula. So if you find Lula Howard on the list of attendees, you can send her a message, and she'll be able to assist with any questions or any assistance that you need. So now we have around about just over 20 minutes until the start of the next session. So we'd like to invite you to use that time for a short speed networking session. So as I mentioned in the video that you've just watched, we have the networking area, which is on the left-hand side of your screen. You can navigate to that using the menu on the left-hand side. So click on the networking button there. When you're in there, as you saw, you can click to bring your audio and video live, and you will then be matched with other attendees at the event. So you'll be matched with people. You can have a brief conversation with them. I think it's a maximum of 3-minute conversation, and then you can choose, if you like, to exchange contact details. So I would like to invite everybody for the next 20 minutes or so to please go and use that networking area. Go and meet some of your attendees. Go and maybe network and hopefully make some new connections. And then we're going to be back here on the main stage in around about 23 minutes time. For the first of our main sessions, which is session 1, which is going to be looking at leading the way 5G visions and early experiences across the APAC region. So once again, please do navigate to the networking area, and we'll see you back here in just over 20 minutes. Thank you very much.